ICE on their back, so I knew who they were. And I asked them, why are you guys taking me? I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not an illegal immigrant. And I was told to shut up and just follow instructions. I did as I was told. When we got to the facility, I again tried to tell them, look, you got the wrong person. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not an illegal immigrant. Again, I was told, shut up. I tried to tell them, I've got everything in my backpack. My birth certificate, I got my ID.
Why'd you have it in your backpack?
I had some business to take care of with the Illinois Department of Public Aid. I went there earlier in the day.
So at no point did they allow you to show your birth certificate or any identification?
They didn't want to see nothing.
Well, I've heard people say they're not just rounding people up, they're getting identification. They're not being rough with people. What do you say?
They're lying. They're not checking IDs. The building behind me was the target, was the building that they were targeting.
This building right here, the orange brick building?
Yeah. I couldn't understand why they were at my building, because my building is not there. I'm a block over in the middle of the block. I didn't see any reason for them to be bothering us.
They were just scooping people up randomly?
Yeah. People that were just hanging out here were all rounded up as well.
It didn't matter, Latino.
Didn't matter what color you are. They were scooping people up.
But it was black and Latino. What time was this?
This was close to 10:30, perhaps.
At night.
At night.
So you were out here in the darkness doing with all this happening.
Yes. We were in the back of a moving truck.
Were there seats in there?
No. It's like the trucks that you use to load your furniture in. It was a budget rental truck.
So you had to stand up to get there?
Well, some people were able to sit down, but most of us stood up because there were, it was too many people for everybody to try and sit down.
What were you holding on to?
Each other.
Were you rumbling around in the back of the truck? Anybody falling over?
We managed to maintain, because with the amount of people that we had in the truck, if somebody was about to fall, you've got enough people to break that fall.
How many people?
I'd say we had about 40 or more people in that truck.
What the hell?
I understand. I heard about ICE and this immigration thing, but you can look at me and see that I'm black. I don't care if you were black, if you were dark-skinned, light-skinned. They were just scooping people up, period.
You think they were doing that to people they think didn't have the resources to fight back?
That I couldn't say. I never thought for one moment that what happened could have happened to me. I don't fit what they're looking for. So why would I have anything to worry?
So when you got to the facility, you didn't have your backpack in the back of the truck, right?
They took the backpack and they took my phone. I wanted to record what was going on when they first grabbed me, and that's when they took my phone. Before they let us go, they were holding up like your phone and stuff and asking, whose phone is this? They only did that as we were about to exit the facility. No paperwork. All they said is, okay, you can go.
You get there with all of these people. They take you inside the facility. What happened?
We were in like large rooms, extremely large rooms. We had a toilet. We had a sink.
One for everybody in there. How many people?
There could have been like 60 or more people in there.
So whatever business you needed to do had to be done in the open.
Yeah. Now, I have been at Cook County Jail before. It was similar, but it was worse.
If you're not from Chicago, you don't know about Cook County. That's
no.
If it's worse in Cook County, that's bad.
It's like a stainless steel toilet.
Yeah.
There was a sink directly next to it. If you needed to sit down on a toilet, there was no seat. You had to sit on the rim.
Did they give you any water, food, anything?
No.
And so they take you, they put you in this holding cell.
And they held us, I'd say, a good 8 hours. The ordeal started at 10:30. I saw a clock as I was leaving, and the clock was at about 8:15.
I think ICE went rogue. No, ICE is the United States. ICE is the format. Every disaster this country has ever faced, it doesn't heal. It just builds another arm of control, and ICE is the most recent mass. Let's look at 1927. Mississippi drowned, 700,000 displaced. Refugees weren't even citizens anymore. They were fenced, sorted, segregated, and guarded with rifles. Relief spelled as surveillance. Let's look at 1930s. The Dust Bowl hits, right? 2 million starving off the plains. But guess what California does? They roadblock the entire border, stop stopping Americans at state lines. Migrant families were branded as criminals, and strikes were broken by the guard. Hunger renamed invasion. Let's even go 10 more years. Let's do 10 more years. World War II. Internment camps, whole populations vanished behind barbed wire. The lesson was super clear. The lesson was extremely obvious. Collapse a group, call them a suspect, and then manage them like cargo. The Cold War only did it again. Refugees equals insurgent. Every crossing was reframed as a security threat. Immigration bureaucracy was just militarized. That's all it was. That's all it was. Movement was mapped like a battlefield. And guess where did it appear next? Guess where did it appear next? Katrina. Black New Orleans, right? They were displaced immediately, not relief, just sheer repression, shoot to kill orders, Blackwater contracts in the streets, survival strictly criminalized, and then Homeland Security arrives. Do you see how often this happens? I stamped on the door. And he wasn't born in 2003. It was the old fraud wearing a new name. Because the government does not solve collapse. That is not what it's here to do. It feeds on collapse. Every storm, every flood, every blackout, every drought, whatever you want. It's just an opportunity to invent another agency, to expand another police budget, to hand another contract to corporations. Relief becomes control. Security becomes profit. Displacement becomes a crime. That's the operating system. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I really am. That's the United States. ICE is not a glitch. ICE is not a glitch. I'm tired of people acting like this is not what Democrats want. It's the update. That's what it is. So don't say ICE went too far. Say this. ICE is exactly how America works. Exactly. It's exactly how it works. A disaster happens, a new mass forms, and the fraud continues. That's exactly how it works. This shit is not something new. It happens over and over with every agency. Actually, that's the format I want you to think in. So any disaster, you could track that immediately to a control apparatus. And I think that's what we need to spend time looking at. The spine of this thing, right? Instead of bickering over what side we're on.